The third of the 4 Cheltenham Championship races is run on the Thursday, and it is the Stayers Hurdle, seeing greats such as Ingus Drever and Big Bucks over the years. A horse coming back to try and gain a back-to-back is our favourite, ante-post favourite, 3-1, Flooring Porter, 4-1, Champ, 9-2, Thyme Hill, 5-1, Classical Dream, 7, Paisley Park, wouldn't that be a story, 10-1, Bar. Bill, I'll come to you first. It's been a funny season in this division because no one's really stamped their authority on it. Flooring Porter obviously didn't get the job done first time. Then we had the incident with Classical Dream where he got left slightly at the start. Champ looked like the champ that he was when he won, and then he got turned over next time. Thyme Hill got beat out in France and then came home and goes second. Classical Dream looked like the one who would go off maybe like sort of 6-4, 2-1 favourite, and then he bombed out. And then you've got Paisley Park, who we always say if you want miracles, go to Disneyland, not Cheltenham. But I mean, it could happen, couldn't it?
Yeah, there's always a kind of recency bias in these races when you price something up on the last run, and we're not very forgiving in our kind of anti-post books and the way we put things together.
So you think we're too quick?
Well, quick to react, and you shuffle the pack. And
you writing that down, Flynn? You're too quick to react.
Yeah, well, it's just there's
I tend to agree. Sorry, I do agree with you.
Do you know what I mean, though?
Yeah, totally. And it's a good angle.
You roll out horses, and you don't realise, when trainers come out and make mistakes. I mean, Dave and I were discussing before about, Champ didn't look 100% ready for Cheltenham, and was brilliant at Ascot. And you're forgetting the Ascot performance and judging him on that last run. And in the same way that, Classical Dream looked brilliant at Christmas and was terrible for a race he shouldn't have run in last time. And you kind of, the market gets shaken up very quickly, and we're very aggressive in the moves for anti-post betting. From a value ground, looking at this, I'd probably give Champ another chance at around 5-1, because this will be the right race for him. We know he loves the track. He's trained by a genius who'll prepare him for the race. And I think I'd rather take a chance with him. I'll never forget that finish to the RSA chase.
Don't, please don't. They were the last one to pack up the pitch that day, I can tell you.
Ben's sigh after that race was something else.
Well, he couldn't win from there. But
I'd back 2 anti-posts each way, and they were the second and third in the race. I'm thinking, on the running, I was actually thinking, I can't remember which one wins more.
Well, if you just
That's
remember,
each way.
You just remember it was Allaho and Minella.
Yeah.
Yeah, that forms.
Turns out Minella would have been better.
But they probably went too hard in it. But he devoured the hill, and if he appeared in similar form here, I think he'd win a Stayers Hurdle.
Davy, do you agree that as sort of not necessarily bookmakers but punters and general public and racing fans that we're too quick to criticise horses after one sort of subpar performance?
Well, it's just I suppose it's lay of the land. You get forgotten about very fast, and you just have to come and prove it to get back into it. I just thought it was very strange that Classical Dream came back so quick to run back. So there's a forgiveness there. Champ, I thought he looked absolutely amazing in the pre-parade. I was admiring him walking around. He looked stunning, but he looked like he was just a little bit chubby. And I feel that Nicky probably thought that he would win that undercooked to leave him ready to go to the festival. That's my reading on it, and for that reason, I think he just. I would definitely forgive him his last run. Thyme Hill, and this race is all about forgiving because they all have blotted their copybook. But Thyme Hill went to Auteuil first time, and that can be hard. Loading them up, taking them to France.
Horrible ground as well, wasn't it?
And racing against seasoned, hardened horses.
Nice food and wine, though.
It depends where you get them. So you're seasoned, hardened horses. So for that reason, you have to be a little forgiveful of him, and it always kind of leads back to Champ for me. He's just a very, very good horse. He's got rock solid form all the way through his career. He likes Cheltenham, obviously, and he is a real proper stayer. And when it does come down to pure stamina, which this race normally does. And the other thing is Flooring Porter. So I don't think Paul Townend gave his horse a great ride because he got a couple of lengths out to start. I think that was just fluke in Leopardstown. But where he did excel was he never came off the inside. And Flooring Porter cannot go anywhere only down the inside, so he has to lead. There is no other way to ride him, and I think the jockeys have copped onto that. I think he has a chance if he gets to the front and gets a reasonable, easy time of it. He can be hard to beat because he's a very talented horse, but he's one-dimensional, and in Navan this year we were an awful lot more aware to him, so we chased him down and he got tired and he fell. In Leopardstown, maybe by mistake, but Paul got out in front of him and stayed down the inside, and Danny Mullins just couldn't get him off the rail. He just can't come off the rail, and that's it. So he's one-dimensional, but he is a very good horse. He gets out to the front, he will. But what could happen there is if someone else is aware of this and takes him on and they go a real proper gallop, then you're like just playing your cards out for Champ to come. And like Champ can be, as we already know, he can be 5 down jumping the last and still win. He just finds that extra gear.
Paisley Park could be 7 down and jumping the last
and still win.
Let's talk about him because
but that's the only thing. The only problem with Paisley Park is, we're writing him off because he has that tendency to labour at the start, which he again showed the last day, but the ability is still there. So.
That's what I'm saying. The ability is clearly still there. He's been there, he's done it, he's won it. He's beaten all of these, I would have thought. He's put 3.5 lengths on Champ last time. Let's be fair, he's probably going away as well, and he's a 7 chance plays a 4 chance. I don't know. We're romantics, aren't we? Racing fans. We like to see things like this. Do you think Paisley Park could win it?
Oh yeah, definitely. You could definitely win it. It's just you're taking.
Well, in a bigger field, so if there could be 15 or 16 runners in this, and he does that at the start in a bigger field, he's got a lot more ground to make up to get to the front if he's going to labour at the start.
What do you do if you're Aidan Coleman then at the start? What do you do at the start? If you're Jocelyn, because you don't want to be up front, do you?
Ruby say go back to the
That's quickly. But like, just have interest as a jockey. If you're thinking I'm on one that he could be a bit of a pig here. Like, what do I want to be in amongst horses? Do you want to be at the front?
He tends to. He kind of tells you what he's going to do, because he ducks to the left and he ducks back in underneath you. Yeah. So it's not an easy thing. So Aidan is focused on going, and the horse is giving him every indication he's going, and all of a sudden he's gone in underneath you. So you're there and he's there. So to sit with him alone is a task. But he just has to have horses around him, and that's it. And look. You can blame people or say different things, but Aidan Coleman is going to be thinking about getting into a posse, and trying to win the race. He can't think about him whipping around and trying to stay on him. You just can't. This is a championship race. You need to get him into the posse that you need to be in to win the race. And if he whips around, he whips around, but You try everything. You have a horse on either side of you or something to that effect. And
go on then before I come to Flynn.
No, the only thing I was going to say about Paisley Park is he's 6-7 to 1. You're not getting a huge amount of value for a horse that might make it very hard for yourself.
He'd be a win-only bet for me.
May not jump off.
May not jump off. I mean, just at a horse we haven't mentioned is talk about previous winners is Lisnagar Oscar. I thought he ran much better last time. He's a 33-40 to 1 chance. I'd far rather take a chance on him at that price than I would.
Well, at that price, you've been waiting to put one up at a big price, I believe.
Yeah, so I actually like one here called Home by the Lee, which is trained by Joseph O'Brien, who's in fantastic form. He's 50 to 1. Shaped really nicely behind Royal Kahala the last day. That was the race where Classical Dream bombed out of. Potential improver at 7 years of age. He's probably got about £10 to find to get involved here, but there's every chance that he could do that because it's the first series of runs that Home by the Lee's had. He's obviously had issues back in the day, but it's the first series of runs he's had. Hopefully he improves a little bit for it. He was, during that run against Royal Kahala, he was on the wrong side of the track as well. A lot of the action came up near side with Classical Dream and and Royal Kahala, and Home by the Lee was on the far side. Once he got involved with Royal Kahala after the last, they did get in a little bit of a tussle, and he chased Royal Kahala home. But I just think in a race where you've got such a muddling head of the market, Davy mentioned the fact that there's question marks to answer for all of them, really. I think it's not a bad race to take a flyer at one, and at 50 to 1, I think that represents value. In terms of what we've laid, Champ and Flooring Porter would be the ones for the ante-post money. Champ was laid as big as 20 to 1. That was before the win in the long walk. I guess there were still question marks about whether he'll go Gold Cup or Stayers back then, hence why he was such a big price. So those are the two that we've laid anti-post. Flooring Porter's the solid one at the head of the market. I just can't make head nor tail of that Champ run against Paisley Park. I was on course and I just couldn't believe what's happening. I couldn't believe how he got beat by Paisley Park that day. It does make sense though if Davy's saying that Nicky might have left something to work on, because Nicky didn't come out after the race and make loads of excuses. He was fairly happy with how he ran, and the fact that this is still the plan could feed into the fact that he just wasn't very fit and they will come on for it. So probably at the head of the market, Champ would be the one for me, but I do like Home by the Lee at a price.
Home by the Lee. Champ. Thyme Hill for me, without question. I wouldn't abandon him at all. He'd definitely be my selection in the race, but a fascinating renewal, and let's hope Paisley Park does it for racing.